Okay. Good evening. Today is Tuesday, January 14th, and the time is 6:30 p.m., and I'd like to call this regular meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission to order. May I have a roll call, please?
Delory.
I see him.
Delory.
He might be on mute. Can you hear us?
Mr. Delory, can you hear us? Yeah, I bet he's got his.
Were we muted?
Hi, it's Steve.
Can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
We can now, yeah. Thank you. We're good?
Okay, great.
Okay. Delory.
Here.
Webb. Here. Stiegel.
Here.
Onken.
Here?
Hauk. Serrato.
Here.
Okay, we've got the quorum, thank you. All right, next on the agenda is approval of minutes. Consider approval of the Planning and Zoning Commission December 10th, 2024 regular meeting minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Serrato and a second from Commissioner Webb. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All
Aye.
opposed say nay. Great. Motion passes. Citizen comment period. The Planning and Zoning Commission welcomes comments from citizens early in the agenda of regular meetings. Speakers are provided with an opportunity to speak during this time period on any agenda item or any other matter concerning city business, and they must observe the 3-minute time limit. So at this time, I'll open the citizen comments.
Chair, I did get 2 emails regarding Six Creeks, so if it's okay, I'll go ahead and read those in to the record.
Sure, thank you.
The first one is from Ollie. It says, hi, Melissa, Steve, Jacob, Sarah, all of us. Approving additional segments of the Six Creek developments threatens our water quality, water availability, and flood resistance downstream on the Blanco. This proposal is in the artesian and recharge zones of the Edwards Aquifer recharge zone per TCEQ. The recharge zone in an aquifer is the area where geological layers of the aquifer are exposed to the surface and water infiltrates into the aquifer through cracks, fissures, caves, and other openings throughout these layers. In this zone, contaminants of surface water can readily enter the aquifer. Where can I find a copy of the Six Creeks Edwards Aquifer Protection Plan, EAAP, for the properties 1115, 16, 17, 18B of Six Creeks? The Greater Edwards Aquifer Alliance recommends the impervious cover limit of 10% of the net area in the recharge zone. All of this development are bad for water quality and bad for flooding, and especially sections 11, 15, and 17. Could not find any maps to verify location of 18B. Please vote to decline items 3 and 4, and I would appreciate the direction on where I can access the traffic impact analysis and Edwards Aquifer Protection Plan for these proposals. Have a wonderful week, and thank you for your diligent service, Ollie. He's a certified naturalist, certified Texas water specialist. And then I have another one, if okay, I'll read into the record. It's from Stuart Robertson. Dear members of the Kyle Planning Commission, as a homeowner in Kyle, I encourage you to decline the proposed additional segments of Six Creeks development. The area lies within the artesian and recharge zones of the Edwards Aquifer, making it highly susceptible to contamination and posing significant risks to water quality and availability. Moreover, the recharge zone as defined by the TCEQ allows contaminants to directly infiltrate the aquifer, threatening this critical water resource. The proposed development, particularly sections 11, 15, and 17, would also exacerbate downstream flooding risks into the Blanca River due to increased impervious cover. To protect our aquifer and community, I recommend adherence to the Greater Edwards Aquifer Alliance guidance on limiting impervious cover to 10% and requesting access to the traffic impact analysis in the Edwards Aquifer Protection Plan, EAPP, for these proposals. Thank you for your attention to this urgent matter. Those conclude the 2 emails I received.
Thank you. If there's no other citizen comments in the room, I'll go ahead and close that now. Okay, we're done with citizen comments. Item number 4 is our consent agenda. We do have 3 items today. One is the Porter County Phase 1 Subdivision replat. One is Six Creeks Phase 1 Subdivision Section 11. That's a final plat, I believe. And then there's a preliminary plan for Six Creeks Subdivision Phase 1, Section 15, 16, 17, and 18B. Is there anyone on the dais who wants to make a motion?
Well, Chair, before that, I'd like to pull agenda item number 2 for questions and make a motion that items 3 and 4 be approved.
Okay. So we have a motion to pull number 2 for discussion and a motion to approve 3 and 4 from Commissioner Stiegel. Is there a second on that?
I'll second that. It's Delory.
Okay, thank you. So I guess first let's have the discussion on 2. Just go in numerical order, if that's okay.
Typically, we vote on the ones that aren't pulled from consent first, and then we discuss the others.
Okay,
So you'd vote on
never
3 and
mind.
4, and then discuss 2.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion to approve 3 and 4. Is there any discussion on that motion? This is the Six Creeks plats. Okay. I do have questions just based on the citizen comments that came in. So I believe that, Kayla, those would go to you and, well, I guess you and Jason, you each have one. So these questions about the aquifer and the effect on water quality and availability, I think those are interesting questions, and I would love to hear from staff about how those members of our community can find these resources that they need. Because if we've had a certified Texas water specialist who was unable to find the information to get clear on, why this is okay, I think we need to make that more readily available.
Well, I think the first issue would be just to address the fact, I think the statement was that these were over the recharge zone, so there's, TCQ has specific requirements that govern that recharge zone. I would like to clarify that no section of these plats are over the Edwards Aquifer recharge zone. They are over a contributing zone, but those have much less stringent regulations. So we have reviewed these from a floodplain perspective, engineering perspective. That is something they look at as part of their review. So I can't answer where to find one of those documents. We can look into it and get back with them and let them know. But for these 2 plans, that document won't exist because they're not over the recharge zone.
Okay, so Six Creeks never had to do like a water study or anything like that?
No, not that I believe as part of their DA from my understanding and reading through. But this was permitted several years ago, so water availability at the time was a little bit different scenario than what we were looking at today. But they were promised that as part of their development agreement, so we're moving forward with approval of that. But again, it was not over the recharge zone.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other questions for staff or discussion on that motion? Okay, all those in favor of approving the plats for Six Creeks, section 11, 15, 16, 17, and 18B, please say aye.
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 Okay. All opposed say nay. Nay. Motion passes. All right, now for the discussion on number 2.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and go through my presentation if you don't mind, and then that way it'll maybe cover a little bit of everything for everybody, and then Mr. Stiegel, you can move forward with your questions. So let me share my screen here. Here we go. Okay, so tonight we're considering approval of replat of Lot 1, Block HH. This is Porter Country Phase 1 subdivision. It's generally located at the northwest corner of Pale Horse Bend and Marsh Lane. You can see the project general location area map on the left. This is towards the extent of our city limits. And then the proposed plat is looking to subdivide Lot 1 into two lots, Lot 1B and Lot 1A. Lot 1A is the private amenity center for Porter Country, and Lot 1B is the public park lot. This was negotiated as part of the development agreement. So that 3.29 acres, again, it is public. They will be dedicating that to the city. We'll accept that via separate deed. That deed will cover ownership and maintenance. There's also some plat notes that are associated with those deeds of record. Again, the city is owning this, but it is maintained by the HOA, and they're subject to any current or future modifications to our parks maintenance plan that may be adopted. Again, Lot 1A is 1.77 acres. That's a private amenity lot. Water is served by Go Forest Special Utility District, and wastewater is provided by Windy Hill Utility Company. Before you have some options: approve as requested, approve with modifications, or deny the request. And staff recommends approval of the requested replat as it meets all state, county, and local regulations. So, Mr. Stiegel, if you want to move forward with your
Yeah, I'd
questions.
like to just get into the dynamics of how these things get done. It was done under a development agreement, and now, really far into the development, we find that they want to take a parcel of land, replat it, and split off that amount of land, 1.77 acres for a private amenity lot, 3.29 for a public park lot. Would you have any understanding whether there was anything in the development agreement that would specify those parcels, that parcel, or where it would be or what it would be?
Generally, the development agreements, when they get reviewed, have, as part of our review process, they will identify which areas would be given public parks, which ones would be donated outright, which ones would be HOA maintained. I do not have a background or familiarity with those conversations as they took place, but generally they are spelled out in the development agreement. If not by letter in the actual code section, generally they're attached as an exhibit as part of that document. So what you'll see is you go through the exhibit, and there will be usually a section that says parkland dedication. It'll generally talk about fees, what those fees are, if they're current or different than the currently adopted, and if there's any location, they will generally refer back to this certain exhibit.
Yeah. So my concern was this, that however it got parceled out originally, it's been a division now in the plat. It's been replatted. We are evidently, by my reading this, the last paragraph, drainage, and going to look at the project myself, as a parkland, we are inheriting a drainage area.
Yes, so there is a significant swell that runs basically north-south through the property. The project, as part of the private amenity center, filled out a site development application. When we reviewed that, they had several walkways to help traverse around the property. So to take you from some of the roads, Pale Horse Drive, they'll loop around all four corners. There are some amenities in there, but it is more of a natural passive park. Yeah, I wish I could answer more about the how and when and why that was negotiated, but unfortunately
Yeah.
I cannot.
And I didn't expect that from you, but in looking at it, there seem to be several reasonably good-sized culverts that would be emptying into that area. And that would indicate to me that that area is more about drainage than anything else, and in the end, not usable parkland. So in bringing this up, I don't mean to be too much trouble about this, but I would like it to be heard that when we have a development agreement, we need to be very clear about the kind of land that would be actually dedicated to city use. I really think that we see time and time again in private development that there's open space and dedicated park space, and it's always drainage areas. Okay, that's in a private development. We usually sign off on those, unfortunately. But when we're in the situation of getting parkland dedicated to us that, in my view, is essentially worthless for human activities, I have a problem with that. Now, there's nothing I can do about it, or the commission or you. But I think that perhaps council and the city management might want to take a look at these DAs to make sure we're getting what's appropriate for the needs of our public. We have a wonderful new public parks director here, really dynamic. I'm sure he would make use of any good space. We've got a good planner there working with them now. I'm sure that he could help make use of this, but if it were an appropriate parcel of land, and I'm not sure that it is. So that's my concern, that's my question, and I wanted this to be, these comments to be made public for others to listen to, and I appreciate your attention to this and your answering my questions.
Yes, sir. That's what we're here for.
Okay, any other questions for staff about this? Okay, we would need a motion to take action on this item.
I make a motion to approve item number 2 on the consent agenda.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve item number 2 from Commissioner Serrato and a second from Commissioner Webb. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oh, I just realized I forgot to ask for discussion. Is there any discussion on that motion? All opposed, please say nay.
Abstain.
Abstain, okay. So the motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
All right. Next, we have consider and possible action. Consider approval of a conditional use permit for a fast food restaurant located at 12524 South IH 35. Slim Chickens, CUP-24-0117. Ms. Sharp.
All right, good evening, Kayla Sharp, Senior Planner. Tonight we have a conditional use permit for you for a proposed Slim Chickens restaurant located at 19524 IH 35. So this is one of the last lots to be developed in what we refer to as the Calterra subdivision. It'll be a little over 3,300 square feet, and the materials consist primarily of brick with appropriate architectural details to accent the building. So here are the renderings. The top one is kind of the front elevation, and then the bottom rendering is the side profile if you were driving down the south along I-35. This is the side that you would see. And then we have the rear of the building, which faces the apartment complex, and then the bottom is the side that you would see driving northbound from I-35. So this is almost entirely brick, which meets the I-35 overlay. Here's the dumpster enclosure, which also meets our masonry requirements. Site plan is also compliant with the retail services and I-35 overlay. Landscape plan also compliant. And then photometric sheet. And we are recommending approval of this request. Also, before I forget, if you have any questions for the applicant, they are also here.
Great. Thank you. Are there any questions for staff? Okay. If there's no questions for the staff, we're going to need someone to bring a motion.
I make a motion to consider the approval of a conditional use permit for Slim Chickens.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Serrato. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, and our second is coming from Commissioner Stiegel. Is there any discussion on the motion? Okay. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Okay, motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then that brings us to our next item, nominations and elections. Consider nominations and hold an election to fill the vice chair vacancy. Mr. Lutz.
Okay, pretty simple item tonight. We have to consider nominations and hold an election. We do have a vice chair vacancy, and the city charter requires us to have a vice chair on this board. So vice chairperson Tracy Shield resigned her position in December of 2024. So candidates to replace the chair position need to be nominated and elected, and then you guys will hold your vote. The current chairperson must open the nomination. So Ms. Onken, if you can do that, and then we will go ahead and take a vote on those that are chosen. So if you have any questions, maybe the city attorney can answer those.
Okay. Nominations are open.
I nominate myself for the post.
Okay. Any others?
I'll also nominate myself.
Okay. We've got Stiegel, Commissioner Stiegel and Commissioner Serrato nominating. We need seconds for these, right? Or no?
No, if there's more than one nomination, then we'll vote on the two nominations.
Okay.
Can I ask a quick question before we vote? What all do the duties of vice chair entail, other than running the meetings on?
The vice chair serves in the absence of the chair. So if the chair is not here at the meeting, the vice chair will serve as the chair. If the chair's, say, out of town and there are some things that need to be signed, the vice chair will do that.
Gotcha, nothing additional, that's it? Okay.
Okay. All right. So I guess we'll have a vote.
If you could do a roll call.
Delory,
Which one are we voting on?
Say the name of the one you want to vote for,
Oh, okay.
because there's two options.
The lawyer's not on.
Delory,
Yep. I'm here. Commissioner Stiegel. Sorry, Daniel.
Webb,
Commissioner Serrato.
Stiegel,
Stiegel.
Onken,
Stiegel?
Serrato.
Serrato.
Okay. So congratulations, Commissioner Stiegel. You are our new vice chair for P&Z.
Thank you all.
Okay. Everyone's great, though. We love everyone. Okay. That brings us now to the staff report section. Staff report about a number of exciting things. So, Mr. Lutz.
Okay, so a few changes coming on with the city. So first thing we wanted to do is talk about the 2025 National Planning Conference in Denver, Colorado. I want to discuss planning department personnel changes, and then recognize Will Atkinson for his years of service to the planning department. And then I left one off on this PowerPoint. I thought I updated. We have an update on the pro-source appeal regarding the decision that y'all rendered back in December. So We'll start with the National Planning Conference. So that is March 29th through April 1st are the conference dates. Please coordinate with Kayla if you're going to be attending that. She can reserve the appropriate number of rooms. She did send out a survey, so any delay on that could affect the quality of your accommodations, so don't hesitate. No later than January 24th, if possible. They do open up this week, so take a look at the tours. If you're interested in any of those off-site tours or in what sessions, and please let her know. Those will generally go pretty quick on those tickets. And then consider what days you want to leave or return. Some of us may be going the night before, staying the day after. We're still working that out. So just make sure you get Kayla everything you need, and she will get you guys squared away. Next one is some personnel changes in the planning department. So as you recall, GIS used to be housed under planning. They have since moved over to IT. They're in the technology department. We still maintain a close relationship. Steve and GIS is a very big part of what we do. So it's just a little bit format, a little bit different structure. So if you come by the planning department expecting to see him, he's not there. He's actually at the Public Safety Center now downstairs. And then Mr. Atkinson, who has led this department for the last several years, has taken on a position with the city's parks. He is the new Parks Planning Project Manager. So congratulations to Mr. Atkinson. And then in the interim, I will be assuming some of Will's responsibilities until we fill that position on a permanent basis. So that's kind of some of the changes we have in our department. And then transitioning into that, we'd like to thank Will for his years of service. He's been part of the planning team since July 2016. 8.5 years in this planning department. He was promoted to senior planner in 21, named an interim director in June of 22, and then he was officially the director starting in September 22. He has guided the development of this community from 39,000 to 70,000 residents. So that is a big change that has happened as he's been part of this team. So we want to thank Will for everything he's done. I'd like to personally thank him for giving me an opportunity to join this great community and department. So we just want to wish him good luck on his future endeavors. So thank you, Will. Appreciate it. And then I've got one more, ProSource appeal. So council considered an appeal by the ProSource applicant. So you remember y'all denied the metal doors. Y'all did approve some of the relocation of the awning. So council did approve to allow the metal doors to stay. However, they added a couple of stipulations. One of them was that the blue stripe be continued all the way around the back, and that some additional awnings that were on the back originally shown be added back. So staff is currently working with them on their design to try and spruce up the backside a little bit. We expect we've got something in for review this week. We'll render a decision. Hopefully they can finalize and get moving and wrap up in the next 30 days or so, depending on that. So just wanted to give you all an update on that. Other than that, that is all I have. And again, appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you. All right, which brings us to our final item of the night, adjourning. As we've completed all the items on the meeting's agenda, there's no further business that we can discuss. So we are adjourned at 6:58